Let's imagine someone named Maya sitting on a packed transit bus. She slides her earbuds in, and instantly the engine rumble and the chatter vanish, replaced entirely by her own private sanctuary of music. On the outside, she looks perfectly calm. On the inside, her biological systems are reacting to a sudden, extreme event. To understand why, we have to look at the mechanics of the device itself. Earbuds operate differently than typical speakers. Because they wedge securely into the ear canal, they create a strict, airtight seal. We can see exactly how that seal changes the physics of sound. Instead of natural sound waves passively rolling into an open ear, the earbud takes those waves, traps them, and pumps highly concentrated, high-density air pressure directly into the head. Human auditory organs spent millions of years evolving to process the open-air sounds of nature. They possess absolutely no biological defense against this specific kind of intense, continuous pressure delivered for hours on end. By using modern technology to block out the chaotic noise of the world, we are unknowingly subjecting a highly delicate, ancient biological system to a prolonged physical assault. The journey of a sound wave starts in your ear canal. You can think of this space as a grand organic cathedral, perfectly contoured by evolution to gather sound from the outside environment. When that concentrated pressure from an earbud rushes in, it strikes the eardrum. The impact forces the membrane to vibrate violently, much like the surface of a large trampoline absorbing a heavy jump. Those rapid vibrations are immediately caught and amplified by a tiny bridge made of the ossicles, the 3 smallest bones in the human body. Looking at this cross-section of the inner ear, we can trace that amplified vibration past the tiny bones straight into its ultimate destination, a small, snail-shaped, fluid-filled organ called the cochlea. This is where the actual processing of sound happens. Inside that fluid-filled space live about 15,000 microscopic hair cells, known as cilia. They behave a lot like a delicate field of biological seagrass, rhythmically swaying as the fluid washes over them. These tiny structures serve a critical function. They act as biological translators, converting that physical, swaying motion of the fluid into the bright electrical signals that your brain ultimately interprets as your favorite song. Every single thing you hear, from the loudest symphony to the quietest whisper, relies entirely on the flawless mechanical swaying of these microscopic biological strands. The problem arises when those gentle sound waves are replaced by extreme volume. Cranking up your device creates what is essentially a hair cell hurricane inside your head. Watching the fluid inside the cochlea churn violently here, you can see the physical toll. The delicate biological seagrass is whipped around by the turbulence. Under extreme pressure, these strands are flattened against the bottom, and some literally snap in half. We are born with exactly 15,000 of these hair cells in each ear. That is a strict lifetime supply. Unlike your skin or your liver, these specific cells never regenerate. Once a hair cell is destroyed, it is permanently gone. That permanent destruction is directly tied to a very common symptom. If you've ever listened to loud music for an extended period and noticed a faint, high-pitched ringing in your ears afterward, you've experienced tinnitus. That ringing is not a residual sound bouncing around your ear canal. It is the sound of your brain scrambling in the dark, desperately trying to pull a signal from a hair cell that no longer exists. You are effectively hearing the ghost of a dead nerve cell. Pushing past safe volume limits means exchanging a temporary, isolated concert experience today for the irreversible erasure of irreplaceable sensory hardware you will need for the rest of your life. The goal here isn't to be afraid of the technology. You do not need to throw your earbuds away or give up carrying a symphony in your pocket. The solution is simply adopting a baseline of biological respect. We can adapt to this modern vulnerability using a straightforward defense mechanism designed to protect our hearing. It's called the 60-60 rule. Here is exactly how the rule works. Step 1 requires capping your device's volume, locking it at or below 60% of its maximum. Step 2 enforces a strict time limit. After 60 minutes of listening, take a mandatory rest. Stopping the localized sound pressure gives the turbulent fluid inside the cochlea time to settle. This crucial break allows your overworked, bent hair cells the time they need to stand back upright and reset to their neutral position before they are permanently flattened. The playlist you queue up on your morning commute will be over in an hour, but you will need your hearing to listen to the natural world and the voices of the people you love decades into the future. By setting these two simple boundaries, 60% volume, 60 minutes at a time, we can fully enjoy the magic of the modern concert without completely destroying the biological concert hall.